Okay, folks, I did do a couple extra things. I added a circle and a couple diagonals and put my lettering in. So when you're doing your lettering, you can emphasize words by maybe changing from a regular font to a script. You can make words bigger, different things you can do to accentuate words. And you want to be careful that the words you accentuate you do for a specific meaning. Maybe they're an important part of what you're saying is. So you don't want to just choose any word, but you want to choose words that make sense when you're going to try to emphasize them. Next thing you want to talk about is color. And I know we talked about color, but the color wheel is going to be really important. What I chose to do is go with complementary colors on mine. So if you take a peek over here at the colors, I'm going with some blues for my backgrounds and some oranges for the hands. You might not have this many colored pencils at home. You might not have that many markers. But with colored pencils, you can change the value by how many times you go over them. They can get darker. You don't have to press as hard to get some lighter values. So even if you don't have this many colored pencils, don't worry about it. So you want to pick your object first. And I'm going to start with some lighter values when I'm doing this. If you notice, this is where the line starts. I go up to the next line, and then I'm going to go into that corner, and that's all that's going to get that color. Then I'm going to choose another one that's not completely too far off, kind of similar value, but a little bit different, and I'm going to put that in the next section, and that's going to stop wherever the dark lines are at. Now, I said you guys will probably be using pencil instead of Sharpie, so your lines won't be as obvious as mine. So I'm just working with the object itself. I'm not worried about the backgrounds yet. So then that's a little bit different value. And then I can go into this section here. Also, you can layer colors on top of each other if you want. And if you are doing your object and it has a natural change, like the thumbnail is going to be a little bit different value than the rest, you want to go through and change that too. So you'll use a different pencil for that as you're working. I'm also going to use that, I think, up here, just to use that little section. The heart's going to be more pinks and reds and maybe some red oranges. So I'm going to choose this square here. So you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing. I'm trying to change the value in every section. So it's going to have a neat effect when you're finished. So then this one, I'm going to go with some of the blues for the background. This is a pretty big section, so I'm going to fill it in. You can do some texture. You can do some hatching, some cross hatching here if you want to. You don't have to just do one solid texture. You can kind of get in, and maybe on this section I'll do some cross hatching, so you can kind of get a feel for a little bit different texture on the outside. So then, since I hit a line here, I'm going to go with a different value for this next square. And the textures don't have to be the same. You're looking actually for some variation. You want some variation in textures, some variation in value, and a little bit in color too, because the colors are going to change a little bit. So kind of gives you an idea of how we're going. And then I'm working my way up to darker values and different values as I go. So this is more like a blue-green that I'm choosing here. So the oranges complement's going to be blue, and the reds that I'm going to be using in the heart, the complements are going to be green. So blue-green's really a good choice here because we have the greens and the blues. So we'll work our way around that. And I'm kind of following that circle. So I think that'll give you an idea of what we're going to be doing with this project. And you just want to fill in the spaces. Each one is going to have a different color, so you don't want to use the same color pencil or same marker for the space that's next to it. And you want to make sure that you can see the changes, that there's enough variation. If it's the colors seem really close to each other, then just go through and make one darker, and then you should be in good shape. I'll take a shot of this when it's finished to give you an idea of what it looks like, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I don't want to let you guys try and get a good start before I show you the finished product. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email and I'll help you out with it. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.